Okay, good afternoon. I'm Brian Craven. I'm Director of Public Relations at Chipola College, and we're happy to have Bonnie Smith with us here today. She directs the College Academic Center for Excellence, and she's advisor to the Honors Program and the Pre-Med Society, which leads into the three people that we are interviewing today. They're all members of the Brown family from Hosford, Florida, and they are all either in the medical field or trying to get into the medical field. And they are Mary Beth, Anne Marie, and John. And so what I wanted to start with today is I wanted each of you to tell me just who you are and what you've been up to since you left Chipola. And you can start, whoever wants to be first will be fine.
Okay, I'll go first. It's Jimmy, but
Jimmy Brown, not John Brown.
Yeah,
I've been watching the John Brown documentary on TV, so it's stuck in my head. I'll be John Brown. So it's Jimmy Brown. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy.
That's okay.
Sorry.
But I am finishing up my fourth and final year at the Florida State University College of Medicine. So I'm about to graduate with my MD, and then I will begin my internal medicine residency this summer.
Fantastic. And tell us where you're doing that.
So that will be with the internal medicine residency program at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital in Tallahassee.
Man, that's super. All right. Somebody else. Yeah.
I'm next in age order, so I'll go ahead. I'm Anne Marie Brown, and I just finished, or I'm finishing up right now. I have 1 week left in my first year of medical school at Florida State University's College of Medicine. So I'm 3 years behind Jimmy. It'll be a while, but I'll get there one day. Anything else that we discussed right now?
Just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in med school at Florida State.
So with COVID, things were a little bit crazy. The first semester they swapped. We usually do anatomy first over the summer, but they swapped, and so we did online classes, and then we did the cadavers and anatomy in the fall. And then we've been doing mostly online work, but block rotation, so like cardio, pulmonary, renal, endocrine systems for the spring.
So you're finishing your first year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have 2 more years to get to where your brother Jimmy is.
Three
right?
more.
Three
yes,
more. Okay.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. All right. So it's a long time. So you guys will be like 30 when you finish.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. It'll all be worth it. Okay. Mary Beth.
My name's Mary Beth Brown, and I just finished my junior year at Florida State University. I have 1 more year, and then I'll be graduating with my bachelor's in exercise physiology, which is the same as what Amory and Jimmy got theirs in.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to apply for the physician assistant program at FSU when I finish with my bachelor's.
Man, that is awesome. Now, tell us, for those of us that don't know about physician assistant, what kind of program is that?
So a physician assistant program is 2.5 years compared to medical school's 4 years. And it's really focused before you apply. You need more patient contact hours instead of shadowing hours. And it's also, Jimmy and Marie, that's about the huge differences I can think of.
Yeah.
The College of Medicine.
Okay, it's part of the College of Medicine, and that program's not very old at Florida State, is it? It's only been there maybe a year or two?
The first class just graduated.
Oh, okay, just graduated. Okay, great. Well, that's awesome. So 3 doctors in the family. That's incredible. Golly, that man, I can't even imagine. That is and are there other Browns that are coming to Chipola?
We have a baby. She's a junior in high school, and she'll be graduating in 2022. And she's doing her dual enrollment classes, but she'll be going to Chipola when she graduates.
Okay. Now I have to ask you this. Anne Marie, is she as smart as you?
She's very smart.
She's very okay. All right.
She actually told us. She said, "I don't know why I'm not in this interview because I'm the only one going to Chipola right now."
Oh my gosh, that's right, because she's a current student in dual enrollment. Yeah, that's
she said, "Y'all are old news." She said, "I should be the one doing it."
Oh, that's great. Well, we'll get her on one day, I promise. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of confidence in that family. I can tell you.
Yes, I can tell they really struggle with confidence. Okay, so I wanted to ask y'all. Let's see. Wanted to ask you about your time at Chipola and just tell us basically what your major was and some of the activities that you participated in, and you can go in any order.
So while I was at Chipola, I was doing a general AA degree for transfer to the 4-year college where I got an exercise physiology degree. So I have a bachelor's of science exercise physiology. So I was mainly science focused while I was at Chipola. I spent a lot of time in Building D. And got involved with the honors program with Miss Bonnie, and I was in Brain Bowl my last year at Chipola, so I got to hang out with Mr. Young a lot.
Neat.
And had a great time with that. I was a lab assistant in Dr. Lay's biology lab. And I think that's most of the extracurriculars I was involved with.
Oh, hey, that's a lot of good stuff. That's fantastic. I didn't know you were on Brain Bowl, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And they're still doing great. They really are. Okay.
I enjoyed it. I wish I had discovered it sooner.
Yeah, that's neat. Okay, somebody else.
I can go next.
Okay.
Whenever I was at Chipola, I also participated in the honors program. I was an ASAB tutor. And I would say those two are probably my best experiences at Chipola. I made the most friends through those two experiences. But then also everybody participated in so many events. So saw the same people in Brain Bowl and Phi Theta Kappa, Mu Alpha Theta, Science Club. Trying to think what else I'm missing. I know there's a few things. SGA and student ambassadors, those were also really fun. And then like Jimmy, I also was an ex-phys major, and so I went to FSU after, and I graduated spring of last year, and then entered the med school that following summer.
Okay, awesome. And you ended up on the Wall of Honor, which we just added a student to that wall this week. What was his name? Bonnie Bailey Rich. Yeah, we just added. Did y'all know him? Did y'all ever meet him from Chipola? Yeah. So we added him this week. So yeah.
Awesome.
So let's ask Mary Beth, the other Wall of Honor person.
The biggest picture frame.
Well, she has the largest frame. Yes, I think she planned that. I think she went over and talked to Maddox Photography about getting a frame larger than her sister's. So okay, Mary Beth.
So I really enjoyed Phi Theta Kappa. We got to do a lot of service projects with PTK, and I loved going on trips with Dr. Rentz and her husband. They are a hoot, and we just had a great time, our whole group. I loved the honors program that we were a part of. You get to really dig deep into subjects you're interested in. The last honors project I did was actually a case study of brain hemorrhage my mom had, and I learned so much that I wouldn't have if I hadn't been in honors, because I got to go to the doctor's office and request the medical records, and that was just a huge learning experience. And it really solidified that I knew I loved medicine and learning about the human body.
That is.
I loved we changed the name after a year. It was the Science Club, but now it's the Chipola
Student Scientists Association.
Yeah, Chipola Student Scientists Association.
Yeah.
And we had Dr. Bodark, who was our sponsor. And we had a great time with that. We had a lot of science seminars we got to organize. We had a meteorologist come, and we also had Jimmy came and his medical school buddies and spoke with our Science Association and the Honor Society. And I was also part of the SGA, which we had a good time with that, and student ambassadors. I loved touring with the high school seniors. And Mu Alpha Theta, we got to give the math Olympiads to high school students. I didn't get to go on the New York trip like Amory and Jimmy did with the Honor Society, but I still really enjoyed the time I got with each organization.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask a quick question. All of you, at Chipola, you can do all those things because we're so small. You can be involved in them. That's kind of hard to do at a larger place. But you all chose, even though it was a little farther to travel to Chipola from home than maybe Tallahassee, you all came here anyway, which we're so grateful you did. But can you just maybe, if somebody were to ask you why you chose Chipola, what would you tell them about that?
Jimmy, you should spearhead it first.
Come on, Jimmy.
What kicked us off?
Okay, so I think Chipola offers a great quality of education. Coming into the university setting, I was taking biochemistry right off the bat, which is one of the hardest classes for pre-medical students. And I'm taking it with students that have been there for 2 and 3 years in that school, and a lot of them were struggling, where I felt like I was probably prepared a little more.
That's great to hear.
It was really it made me feel great about having attended Chipola, where I felt like I'd gotten better preparation for that hardest class that we take. So I think the reason for that is better exposure to your instructors. So Chipola, you got a class size, at least in the upper level sciences, maybe 20 students in physics and organic chemistry. I guess biology is a little larger, maybe more like 50, but still, take those classes at Florida State, you're in an auditorium with 100, 200 students. So you don't have the same access for questions and things like that. And I that carried on into my medical school application, where I felt like I had a better relationship with my instructors at Chipola, and I went to them for letters of recommendation over instructors at four-year institution, where I didn't really know them, they didn't know me. So I actually didn't submit any letters of recommendation from.
Oh, really?
They were all from Chipola and my extracurriculars.
Awesome.
Well, Anne-Marie, did you and Mary Beth have similar? I mean, you felt confident going in, and even in COVID online?
Yes, ma'am. I was going to say about with Jimmy, I think growing up, we'd all thought we were going to go to Tallahassee for school. Even though our mom was a Chipola alumni, we thought we were going to go to Tallahassee because it was closer. And it was the full ride scholarship offered to Jimmy that got him to think, oh, Chipola is a good idea. And then he got there, absolutely loved it. And so we all decided that's what we want to do too. And then I loved Chipola. It's been my favorite school experience so far. And I mean, I'm a person that's like school, and Chipola's been my favorite by far. And so one more thing that I was going to add is that going anywhere else, you're usually a little fish in a big pond. And at Chipola, everybody matters. Everybody's the bigger fish in the smaller pond. And I mean, like Jimmy said, it beefs up your applications and it beefs up your resumes, and it makes you look great that you can participate in everything. But I didn't participate in stuff for the application. I did it because it was genuinely fun. I enjoyed all the people and all the faculty, and building those relationships was the best part of Chipola. And that's why, it's always going to be my favorite school experience. It was just very unique. And I would say you don't get that. Even if you went to another smaller college, I still don't think you'd get what you get at Chipola.
Cool.
Well, Mary Beth, what was it like for you this year? I mean, were all of your classes online or some face-to-face?
They were all online. So I was just home behind a laptop the whole semester.
Man.
But to add on to what they said, the professors at Chipola, you have like one-on-one connections with each of your professors. I loved every professor I had at Chipola. If I saw them right now, I'd be happy, like, hey, Dr. Lane, Dr. Hilton, Dr. Bodart.
And they would know you.
All our family.
Yeah.
And to add on to what Jimmy said, in organic chemistry, which is probably the hardest class I took at Chipola, you had less than 20 students compared to biochemistry. We had over 300 students at FSU. Wow. And your professors don't really know you or your name. But in organic at Chipola, we we were struggling together, but we were growing together, and by the end of the year we were a little family. And also there's also this misconception that smaller colleges you won't receive as great of an education as if you went straight to a university. And I strongly disagree with that. Whenever I went to get my schedule finalized for next semester, my advisor pulled up my transcripts and my records, and he saw my performance in my classes, and he said, "Oh, you must be from Chipola." He didn't know my name or know where I was from, but just from how I performed in my classes, he said, "You must be a Chipola student."
That's
so
incredible.
Chipola has a reputation of
Uh-huh.
producing well-performing students.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I was talking to Bonnie about earlier, when you're at Chipola, you're probably going to have a full-time professor who maybe has they at least have a master's degree, and many of them are doctors prepared, and they are the main teacher for the class of 25 to 50 students. When you're at a university with 50,000 students, they just can't afford to do that. So you might have a TA, or you might have a section that's taught by a grad assistant, and so you really do. You probably get a better full-time teacher at Chipola in those classes. All right, I want to ask you, put you on the spot here. Did y'all have and I know you're all going to say Bonnie, so that goes without saying, but did y'all have a favorite teacher at Chipola? And you can say Bonnie, but tell us somebody else too, maybe. Okay.
So I also loved Mr. Young, Stan Young. So he taught Calc 1 to me, and I loved the class. Never really liked math a whole lot, but I liked his class. He's hilarious, and so he made it interesting. And then again, he cultured me, exposing me to Brain Bowl and how you can learn without being in necessarily the academic setting. It's more like a competitive team sports setting.
Right.
And got to travel a little bit as a part of that organization too. So both of you guys, Miss Bonnie and Mr. Young, y'all kind of expanded my horizons.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, girls.
We really didn't like this question because we loved all of our professors.
I know.
Chipola.
I know.
Me and Emery actually argued on which professors we were going to say and which professors she was going to say. So we got everyone.
So we like them all.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Miss Bonnie?
So you just say you like them all.
Yes, ma'am. I did love them all. Dr. Bodark was a sweetheart, and I wasn't crazy about taking physics because it wasn't something I was particularly interested in, but he made the class enjoyable and entertaining. And I loved anatomy and physiology because I love learning about the human body, and Dr. Hilton was very insightful, and he just had stories to go with every lesson, it felt like, and it made a class just enjoyable and fly by.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Bodart he's one of a kind. I mean, not many, they don't award many physics PhDs in America every year, and he has one, and he's a fantastic teacher, and we're lucky to have him. We really are. All right, Anne-Marie.
Yes. I, again, did not like this question whatsoever. I'm getting to go through everybody because all of the teachers, I don't think I could pick a favorite if I wanted to. I loved Miss Bonnie's class. I loved Coach's class, Mr. Young. I loved Dr. Bodart's, Dr. Hilton, Dr. Clark, Dr. Lay. I could just go through the whole list. It was just, even if I wasn't Dr. C, I was not a chemistry person. But the teachers at Chipola, I'm not a physics person either. So it sounds like I got into the wrong major, right? But it was just all the teachers made everything enjoyable. The stories, the personal relationships that came with it, and just made learning fun there. So.
Yeah. That's awesome, and I y'all answered that just right. We didn't hurt anybody's feelings. We understand that you loved everybody. I wanted to go back to Bonnie a little bit. She's also the advisor to the Pre-Med Society, and were all three of you involved in that?
Yeah. So,
yeah, and we, Bonnie and the Pre-Med Society through the contacts that Chipola has been able to establish over the years. I mean, we have a pretty good record, and two of you are products of that, of helping people prepare to try to apply for and get into these limited access programs. So yeah, Jimmy, you started on that. Tell us a little bit about the Pre-Med Society and your experiences.
Yes, so through Miss Bonnie and the Pre-Med Society, I was able to shadow Dr. Robin Albritton in town, who's also a Chipola grad. I think he played baseball here, and then went on and was a graduating member of I think one of the first classes at the Florida State University College of Medicine. Cool. So it was great to work with him and see him in practice there in Mariana, and the way he embodied the mission of the Florida State College of Medicine, and it was very big part of my application and this decision to go into medicine. So.
Awesome. Mary Beth or Anne Marie, since you're actually in there, go ahead.
Mary Beth can go ahead if she wants to, but you want to? You want to?
I think if y'all are medical school, this is better fitted for y'all.
Yeah.
So with the Pre-Medical Society, I also got to shadow. I remember we organized the whole day where a whole bunch of us went to Jackson Hospital, and I got to shadow Dr. Spence with internal medicine there. And then he was one of my references and one of my experiences that I got to list on my application to med school. And then since then, I've participated, since being at the College of Medicine, I'm a part of the FRHA, the Florida Rural Health Association. And so we've gone back and shadowed at Jackson Hospital as an organization. And it's funny because I got matched to Dr. Spence again based on my student profile and what I was interested in. And then I applied for STP, which is it's like a clinical experience that we have in a week. We do a 3-week rotation at a hospital in Florida. And so I got matched to Dr. Spence again. And so I think they get the vibe that I'm a rural fit.
Yeah, and great.
So it's really interesting that it started way back at Chipola, getting to shadow Dr. Spence.
Cool.
Well, one thing you were talking about, the doctors and things like that, we talked about Dr. Davis, who was our very first pre-med president. She helped write the Constitution for that. And now she's your physician. And but a lot of the doctors, like Dr. Davis and Dr. Albritton and Dr. Spence and some of the others, have allowed you to come in. I mean, do you think you would have had, how has that been helpful from the Chipola community? Just
so for one, shadowing opportunities are hard to come by. There's a lot of hoops, not only you, but the clinic that you're coming into that you guys have to jump through to set up an opportunity like that. So you guys with the Pre-Medical Society, open that door and facilitating that made the process a lot easier.
Well, they're very good to do that. The doctors are very, very open.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know we've talked about this next question quite a bit, but if you could tell someone who was maybe considering going to Chipola, because you guys probably had opportunities to go lots of places. I'm sure you were offered scholarships to places all over, and you were all bright futures, so you could have gone right to Florida State for free or University of Florida. If someone's in that same position right now and they're trying to decide whether or not to attend Chipola, what would you tell them? And Mary Beth, you start this time.
I would say, in addition to the multiple benefits of smaller class size, you have more one-on-one time with your professors, you have more opportunities being organizations, and those organizations look good on resumes whenever you're applying to graduate school. And those personal connections will give you really good letters of recommendation whenever you're applying for graduate school. But also the financial aspect of it, we had a lot more opportunities to scholarships through Chipola than we would have if we went straight to a university. And I know I was very grateful to have received PTK scholarships because of Chipola. We also had our valedictorian scholarships because of Chipola to Liberty County High School. And also because of all the organizations I was a part of, I was chosen as a FSU PTK scholarship in addition to my other PTK scholarships. And these scholarships have been such a blessing to me because I've really gotten to save a lot of money for graduate school. And so hopefully I won't be over my head in debt whenever I graduate. And this is unbelievably a blessing, and it's all because of Chipola. I was also allowed to work in the ACE lab when I was at Chipola, which gave me a little bit of a salary, and that was my first real job. So I have something to put on a resume one day.
That's great.
So the financial aspects of Chipola, I really don't think you can get a better bang for your buck anywhere else.
So not only were you able to get scholarships to attend Chipola, but because of your attendance at Chipola, you were able to get in line to get scholarships to transfer to Florida State.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I mean,
The Phi Beta Kappa scholarships that I received because of my participation in PTK at FSU. And then also FSU has its own PTK scholarship that you can apply for. They award 2 students per academic year. And because of the organizations I was a part of, and it really boosted my application. So it's been a real, I can't even put into words how much of a blessing it has been.
That's great. Okay, Jimmy, give us your endorsement of Chipola. If you had a friend going to Liberty County High School right now, why would you tell them to come to Chipola rather than going to Harvard right out of high school?
So I think Mary Beth's right. That it's physically responsible to attend a community or a community college where it's more affordable. You have more scholarship opportunities and opportunities for employment. But to me, that's really a secondary bonus to the quality of the education. So I really think that the access to instructors is super important at Chipola, and really benefited me in moving on to more upper level science classes. Another aspect of that access that I thought was beneficial is research. So in pursuing undergraduate research at a 4-year institution, I was working with a graduate student. But for the 4 projects that I did with the honors program at Chipola, I was working one-on-one with my professors. So that, again, that level of contact, I think, was just vital for my growth.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so Mary Beth talked about money, and Jimmy talked about access to professors. So, Anne Marie, is there something else that you would point out to somebody considering Chipola?
Those are the good points, I'd say, but I don't know. Mine is like the friendships and everything, the experiences that you get are unlike anywhere else. I made friends at FSU, but I haven't really stayed in touch with them. Whenever we went on our New York trip, we created a group chat. Oh, something's popping up, sorry. We created a group chat, and we still message each other every couple of weeks to this day with all the students there. And it's funny, it's memories from the New York trip that pop up, old pictures, and it's also just catching up with our lives. And so I would have never had the friendships, the experiences if I hadn't gone to Chipola. And then also the same goes for the Marietta community. Since being up there, I've told my family, if I ever leave Liberty County, I'll live in Marietta.
Really?
Because it's
awesome.
just, I really love the area and the people there. And if Chipola hadn't had the organizations and the opportunities, I would have never known how much I enjoyed Marietta and the people there.
Right.
And bouncing off of Mary Beth, whenever I went to FSU, the advisors also told me, "Oh, you're a Chipola kid. We love Chipola kids.
Oh, that's
They're
awesome.
our best students."
That is awesome. Thank you for that. Bonnie, I want to ask you, do you still keep in touch with people that you attended Chipola with?
I do. I have a few. I do.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends, I don't want to say enemies from when we were in high school, but cheering in Chipley and cheering in Graceville, not friends.
Exactly.
But you get to Chipola and you make, friendships with people that you really will know for a lifetime. And especially with all the networking, you're in a lot of the same classes. I know all of you took organic and physics and the anatomy with the same people. So you really get to know them, and you study in the ACE and you study outside. So you really do learn to network and how important it is to learn to talk to your teachers. And
Right.
I do, but I think coming to Chipola for me, my parent, there was no other consideration. I mean, that's where you're going. But I'm
Right here
glad.
too. Absolutely. But yeah, I still talk to people that I went to Chipola with, almost 40 years ago. And it's amazing. You live close to all the towns these people came from, but I mean, I had never been to Bonifay for any reason, and I probably I'd been to Hosford because my great grandmother lived there, but I didn't really know anybody else from Hosford. But I met people, from all these little towns at Chipola and interacted with them, and I'm still friends with many of them. So I think that's one of the neat things about Chipola for sure. Okay, guys, I want us to close up today. I want you to tell me something personally about yourself that we might not know, and it doesn't have to be anything to do with academics or your career. What's something that you enjoy doing? What's something that you're into right now that we might not know anything about? Or any of you trying to climb Mount Everest? Any of you into mountain biking? Jimmy, are you learning how to needlepoint or just tell us something personal that's going on in your life.
Something personal.
Jimmy studies all the time.
Yeah, that's all I do is study. Yeah.
So I finished up my ICU rotation a month or two ago, and since then have been trying to focus on my fishing while I still have time to enjoy that.
Okay. Now, what kind of fishing?
So I've done a little surf fishing down at the beach, primarily like Mexico Beach, Panama City Beach, trying to catch some pompano. Haven't had luck yet this year. But
sand fleas?
Well, the new thing now are fish bites.
Yeah, they're good.
So
yeah, they're real good.
I had some luck with them last year. Not yet this year. We'll see. And
cool.
then getting into some floundering.
Neat.
A flounder a few weekends back. So just trying to enjoy the outdoors as much as I can before I'm cooped up in a hospital.
That's great. That's great.
Well, very recently I started to learn how to sew from my Nana. She's been teaching me how to sew, so maybe that'll help me with sutures one day. And I just finished my first sewing project. I made some pillow covers for this cheap futon I found online from someone in South Choppy. But besides sewing, I had so I just finished my first semester in exercise physiology, and although this is preparing me for a medical route, I found out that the effects exercise has on your body is pretty interesting and mind-blowing for all ages. It's good for you. So I've want to plan a little exercise group for older people in our community so they can come, and I'm trying to get that started up maybe at my church where older people can come and get a little exercise and strengthen their bones and strengthen their muscles. So that's awesome. My next project.
That's awesome. Older people like Bonnie and I, will we be allowed to come?
I'm not sure if y'all meet the cut, but y'all are doing very well.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, Anne-Marie?
Lately, I've also, I don't know, Jimmy's the fisherman in the family, and Mary Beth is usually the one who can cook pretty good, but I've been trying to work on both myself lately. I've been trying to work on my baking. I baked a strawberry cake for Easter. Food is very important in our family. That's the reason we all get together. Yeah. And so I love spending time with family, and that's what I'm trying to work on lately. I've been cooking some more, baking some more, so seeing if maybe I can work on my, outside of my academic skills.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Cool. Well, Bonnie, do you have anything you want to add here in closing before we wrap up today?
Well, it just seems like yesterday they were all here. I think the last time I saw you all together was either at the Jimmy's white coat ceremony or maybe the graduation. But we're just so proud and grateful that you guys were here. We miss you very much. And thank you for doing this today.
We miss y'all very much.
Miss Bonnie.
Yeah,
I thought we were each going to get a professor. So when Jimmy said Miss Bonnie, I didn't say it. And then Anne-Marie said Miss Bonnie too. So it made me look bad.
It's okay if you say it too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I just assumed.
I was trying to play the whole field. I was naming everybody. So
It's not my first day with the Browns. Yeah.
That's right.
wait, before we go, I want to get a picture of the screen if that's okay, so I can send it to the group and brag.
Oh, okay.
Getting to see everybody. Okay, got it.
Cool.
Your
Dr.
grandmother's
Craven,
from Hosford?
whenever I
Yeah,
was
my
talking
great
about
grandmother's from Hosford. Her name was Myrtle Alford.
Myrtle Alford. Was she a moonshiner or a turpentine?
She was a moonshiner. Yeah, her husband actually did time in the federal pen in Tallahassee for moonshining. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I
Jimmy,
have some of
your
those
own
ancestors too. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure either
Both.
turpentining or moonshining. That's all there was.
Mary Beth, you had a question, sweetie, for Dr. Craven.
Yeah.
whenever I was talking about the financial benefits of Chipola, I was kind of all over the place. Would you like me to redo that and start from like valedictorian to PTK to FSC?
Oh, no,
PTK?
no, we're not. This is not an edited thing. You need to loosen up a little bit. We're just talking here.
It's
My
the
goodness.
Browns, listen.
Golly, I'm telling you, man.
But you know, that does highlight though the value of all these people in the community that contribute to the foundation. So that we do
absolutely.
have all these scholarships and
for the size that Chipola is, I mean, we're 2,000 students roughly, and we have $20 million in our endowment, which is amazing.
Wow.
And we give away about $600,000. The foundation.
real people, real families donate that money. So
absolutely.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, Mary Beth.
And women's clubs and, Rotary clubs and Kiwanis. I mean, they raise money and give us money to help guys just like you. So
You're why.
yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. Mary Beth Brown, Anne Marie Brown, and is it Dr. Jimmy Brown yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
1 month.
1 month. It'll
1
be
month.
Dr. Jimmy Brown.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
thank y'all so much for talking to us today, and y'all just did great, and we just appreciate you going out and being good ambassadors for Chipola College.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much. We really
right.
appreciate it. Thank y'all.
All right.
And Dr. Craven and Ms.
Yes.
Bonnie, in about like 20 or 30 years, can y'all help me get a job at Chipola? Because I really want to be a professor one day. Like I want to be an anatomy physiology professor.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll take care of it.
Where? Somewhere.
Somewhere.
All right.
All right.
Thank y'all. We love all y'all. Thanks
Thanks,
for having
guys.
us.
See you
Y'all very
later.
much. Bye.
Bye-bye.